Welcome back to the Tailgate Show put on by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. I'm Kaylee Mansell, and I'm so excited to have my friend Najee Wilkins join me. He works for Score Atlanta. Now, Najee, you are our eyes and ears on the field. So for those at home, what are the kinds of things you get to see and hear that they typically wouldn't?
Yeah, so I get to see kind of the chat on the sideline, players getting really intense, really into it. Get to hear the coaches kind of talking to the players, walking them to the side. So very exciting on the side as well. And then you get to also see the emotion, the passion. You get to see the fans out there, so many things, and it's really exciting to see for both teams.
Now, from what I understand, you got to interview the winning coach of last game, Darren Miles. What did you guys talk about? What were your takeaways?
So biggest takeaway was their 22-0 basically run out there in the third quarter. They really took control of this game. So I asked them, what did he tell them in halftime? Because it was a 14-12 game. You know, it was really back and forth, but he just told them either
had in the games that we'll have going forward. In your opinion, what's the favorite game that you've watched so far, and what game are you most looking forward to this season?
That's such a good one. This is include Corky Kell as well?
Including Corky Kell.
Okay, so it's going for me. It's going to have to be Walton Mill Creek. That game winner, back and forth all game long. Jeremy Helinski was just balling out, 4 touchdowns, and then also Caleb Downs as well. So that was the most exciting. I'm really excited for the one next week between Buford and also North Cobb. Malachi Singleton is AJ Super 11, so that should be an exciting matchup along with Justice Hayes. They won their matchup 56-7 against Mallard Creek, so that should be really exciting.
Well, Najee, it's been my absolute honor to have you on. I promise this will not be the last that you see of him. Hopefully, he'll get to be on here with me a little bit more. So awesome to have you.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, but make sure you stay tuned because we've got more football coming up ahead.
All right, guys, I'm Najee Wilkins here with the post-game report from Marietta. Walton wins this one 30-17. Great second half for them. Really controlled the football there. First half, Marietta came back, scored with a Christian Masters touchdown from Chase McCravey. Cut it to 7 points going into the half. But as Daniel Bruner, head coach for Walton, mentioned to me, obviously he's keeping focus on being more disciplined, stopping penalties, which he thought they performed a lot better in the second half. And obviously this is another game for Walton that they can continue to build on. Now, Jeremy Helinski, he was making some great throws out there, a couple of interceptions, but one thing I can say about him is that he's very resilient. You obviously saw from him that, he's going to keep coming no matter how many interceptions, how many turnovers, or how many mistakes he has. He's just a guy that's just a gamer. He's a baller. He's going to come out here, play well. Now, for Marietta, just really quick, performed really well, I thought, in some phases of the game. That interception I thought was big that Aiden Jackson caught. Late there, it was 27-17. It was going down driving. If, that turnover doesn't happen, they possibly go down 3 potentially. But overall, Marietta definitely played one of their better games, I would say, of the season. Came close. It just didn't have enough there towards the end. And then for Walton, their receiving corps is really good. Aiden Jackson is a kind of a player, as, Daniel Bruner mentioned to me. He thinks he's one of the best players in the state, and he doesn't get a lot of notice. So, obviously, hopefully, he'll get some more notice after this game. But he caught interceptions, catches touchdown passes, plays both sides of the ball, very energetic. He's just a guy. He's a baller. So, I think that's a guy to keep notice on him and Hecklinski. And this Walton team, man, if they can continue to put together a performance like this offensively and defensively, they're a very talented and loaded team. And look out for this team for the rest of the season. Najee Wilkins with Score Atlanta. We'll see you next time.
Kaylee Mansell with Score Atlanta reporter Najee Wilkins. Najee, you are our eyes and ears on the field. You can hear and see things that those at home can't. What's going on the sidelines right now?
A lot's going on. After that first quarter play there, obviously, they almost scored. Coach is very upset. Yelled at his players like, hey, we got to get into it. We got to do this right. And that stood out to me. And also talked to the coach at halftime. He said, for Jefferson, we have to limit the halftime. We have to limit the big plays. And we also have to make sure that in the second half, we lean on Sammy Brown and Elijah do it and get it going on the offense.
Now, when you look at this fourth quarter, 7-6, who really has the momentum going their way in order to win the game?
In my opinion, I think Oconee County has the momentum. They're right here near the red zone, driving, and I would say, too, for Jefferson, they've done a good job limiting the long plays. It's been more of a methodical drive, in my opinion. So Oconee County has the edge at the moment.
Well, Najee, thank you so much. But we will see you after the game, hear more about what you said with the coaches. But it's time to listen to Brandon and Rusty for this last quarter, so stay tuned, guys. Welcome back to the Tailgate Show, brought to you by GeorgiaConstructionCareers.com. I'm Kaylee Mansell with Score Atlanta reporter Najee Wilkins, and a man who loves to disclose a lot about my personal life on air. It's Rusty Mansell. Najee, you got a chance to talk to Coach Hall from Oconee County after the game. What was that conversation like?
Yeah, so I just asked him, that last possession there, how was his team feeling? He told me they felt great there on that defensive stop. I asked him what really separates that linebacking core, and he told me before this game that's really the heart and soul of their team. The 4 linebackers led by Samson Stearns and obviously Whit Weeks, the commit for LSU. So that linebacker core you saw made a difference. Sammy Brown had a 30-yard run, but it was tough sledding for him all night. So that's what really made the difference in this game.
Now, Rusty, we knew this game was going to be a nail-biter either way, but was this the outcome you expected?
I thought it was going to be a knockdown, drag-out, physical football game. Both teams kind of want to went inside the box. That's what we saw tonight. I think two things impressed me. Jefferson's red zone defense, and then towards the game as the game wore on, Oconee County wearing them down and finishing this game off. It was a electric atmosphere, great football game tonight.
Next week we will head to Marietta to watch Walton take on Marietta.
Yep.
What can we expect?
Couple things here. Walton, all over the place. Marietta's still trying to kind of find themselves early on. I think it's one of the best atmospheres in high school football, going out to Marietta, the tailgate stuff. We got a little viral intern we want to talk to. We got a little secret going in next week. One of our interns from Score Atlanta has taken off here in the last couple of weeks. So we want to talk with her next week. But also, I'll tell you this. Walton is absolutely loaded. Marietta has her work cut out for them. I expect a great and a high-scoring game next week.
And Najee, I want to end on this. What is the most memorable thing that you heard on the sidelines tonight?
That you can say.
Yeah, that you're permitted to say on live television.
Oh, man. I would just say, let's go. Hey, we need to turn up the energy. And that really stood out to me, as I alluded to in the third quarter. Coach getting into him after that, possession there late. And he was just like, yo, we cannot have that anymore, and we got to really get in this and take this game over. So that's what really stopped me tonight.
Absolutely. Well, from myself, Rusty Mansell, Brandon Adams, Najee Wilkins, IJ Rosenberg, and so many others, we wish you all good night, sleep tight, enjoy some college football this weekend. You deserve it, and we'll see you right back here on Peachtree TV next Friday. Again, welcome back to the Sports Turf Halftime Show. I'm Kaylee Mansell, and it's time to bring in our Personal Touch Lawn Care Halftime guest. I'm here with Score Atlanta reporter Najee Wilkins. Najee, you got a chance to talk with Coach Williams from Langston Hughes right after the half. Well, how did that conversation go?
It was nice, short and sweet. He basically told me they played very sloppy in the first half. He said the message is going into the second half basically was to play better, less turnovers essentially, and go finish 11 hats to the football.
As you mentioned, Langston Hughes has not have had the best first half, but they have had some moments where they look really elite out there. A lot of people are speculating that they might be the best team in all of GHSA football. What are your thoughts on that?
I definitely think this is a very talented team, but I think this Douglas County team is a team that doesn't pack any punches. They're going to go out there, they're going to play their heart out, and Wake Forest commit Deuce Alexander is balling. 2 interceptions. So I think Langston Hughes is the creme de la creme, but I just think Douglas County is not backing down.
Absolutely. Douglas County has really held in there. What are they doing right so far?
I think it's defensively. Defensively side of the ball, they're playing aggressive on the outside. Again, Wake Forest commit, Deuce Alexander is playing very well, and they're not backing down. Earlier we seen Bo Hughley and Zachariah Keefe going at it. So they're not backing down. I think that's the biggest thing, and they're trying to confuse them, throwing some different looks out there for the star quarterback, Princess Aaron Nolan.
Now, when we take a look at Douglas County's offense, there was an understanding that their quarterback is not going to be coming back in the second half, and their backup quarterback transferred last season. What do you do in that situation?
I mean, it's tough. If I'm them, I'm going to get back to basic fundamental football. I'm going to run the football. I'm going to try to get Latrell Morrell involved. I'm going to get Richard Morgan involved, my running backs, get them the ball in space. And really, it's their playmakers. Again, Hilton Alexander, Monte Gooden, James Johnson. All these players are very good. If they can get them the ball in space, screens, flare routes, something like that, maybe a deep route, I think they'll like their chances. But real quick on Sire Hardaway, it's a star in the making, I think, in my opinion. 1,328 passing yards, third in the state. 75% completion. This was his game he needed, but he got hurt, seen him walking off the field, so you got to get the ball in the playmaker's hands.
Well, I think one thing that we can both agree on, this second half will be very interesting. Excited to see what both teams do. We will talk with Najee after the game, but we will be right back with more, so stay tuned.
What's going on, y'all? I'm Najee Wilkins here at the Plus Game Report. Carrollton Wins won 38-28, had a very dominant third quarter there. They were only up 11-7 at halftime. East Coweta did a really good job fighting back. I thought Martarius Bowles had a really good game in this one. He had over 100 yards, touchdown, performed really well. But it was just Carrollton, leaning on Bryce Hicks. Bryce Hicks had 2 touchdowns in this one, nearly 200 yards rushing. Also, Julian Lewis, first major game on TV in front of a statewide audience, national audience. I thought he did well, over 200 yards passing, 2 TDs. I thought, he made the difference. But defensively for Carrollton, Kelvin Hill, 2 interceptions, nearly a pick 6 there at the end. Thought those 2 interceptions were really big in the game for East Coweta when they were kind of getting momentum. And then just in the second half, Carrollton offensively just didn't let their foot off the gas pedal. Whenever East Coweta was able to get possessions going and they were able to get the offense going and they were able to score touchdowns, Carrollton will come back every time and score a touchdown or put on a long drive to kind of stifle the momentum and really build an edge. So that's really made a difference in the game. Carrollton moves to 7-0 in the season, and East Coweta moves to 4-3. That's all I got for today. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Player of the game, Joe Taylor, 4 rushing touchdowns. Man, he had a dominant effort, man. Just how you feeling after that win, man?
I feel great. Having them beat us last year, we had to come back out here with revenge. We had that bad taste in our mouth, so we knew we had to come out here and execute.
Now, your coach told me, man, you kind of dealing with a little bug there, but you were still relentless tonight, man. Just how you feeling, just physically, after the cold, and what allowed you, man, just kind of have that big game, man.
It was that want to in me. You gotta have that dog in you, and Coach Carter preaches that every day. He like today, he talking about accountability. Do your job to the best you can, and that's what I feel like we did tonight, especially the O-line. I can't take no credit without that O-line. They did all the work. I just made it look good.
Yes, sir. Now, last year, man, I saw you had a 1,000-yard season, 12 TDs, man. You really balled out. This year, I know you kind of been, Coach said you kind of rotating 3 running backs in there, you, Dylan Elder, and another running back as well. Just how has it been for you this year running the football? What can you take away just in general running the football?
Running the football, I can take away a lot, but what I really want to take away from it is give back to them. I want to give back to Dylan. I want to give back to Amari, the other running back, and get them a good example, show them what it's supposed to be.
And then, as far as you, man, just how's your recruiting process been, man? Any offers, what's been out there? Your coach said you kind of under the radar, which I don't understand. Like I said, the 1,000-yard season, the 12 TDs, just what's allowed you, man, to just, just flourish, man, and then why you think the offers has kind of just not been there?
I'm not too picky on that. I'm not gonna say that I deserve anything. I'm gonna just let it come my way, because God, that's the first person I believe in, and that's who got me. Yes, so I'm not really too much worried about the offers, but the season, I just wanted to pick up where I left off.
Final question, man. Grayson team, really good defense, really strong rushing attack, man. What you think you guys need to go to get back to that ultimate goal of winning the state title?
The ultimate goal we need to respond. We need to work. We work on it now, but we need to work on it some more. We need to work on responding. When other team had big plays, how are we gonna respond to it? Are we gonna hang our head, or are we gonna pick our head up and do what we can do?
Gotcha. Well, guys, this is Joe Taylor. Appreciate you stopping by, man. And that's our post-game interview with the player of the game, Joe Taylor. We'll see you guys soon.
Welcome back to the Sports Turf Halftime Show. It is time to bring in our halftime guest, brought to you by Personal Touch Lawn Care. And what better person than Score Atlanta reporter Najee Wilkins? Najee, you got a chance to talk to both Coach Niblett and Coach Kraft this week. What do those conversations entail?
Yes, so energy, execution, and effort was kind of what Josh Niblett told me in the first half. You're not really seeing that. Say we got to take care of the football. Limit the turnovers. We've seen 2 turnovers so far already. Way too many penalties. We saw that convert. So touchdown drive for North Forsyth. That's been a difference. And North Forsyth side, be aggressive. And we're seeing them be aggressive, converting those opportunities. And that's why they have the lead right now, 14-7 at the break.
Yeah, Gainesville took an early lead in this game. Obviously, North Forsyth scored 2 touchdowns, has the lead now. What is North Forsyth doing right so far?
I think creating turnovers. Coach Kraft mentioned that in the half before. That's huge. 2 turnovers, and they've converted each of them, and they got momentum after they scored that drive to tie the game 7-7. Went down, forced a 3 and out, went back down and scored. Touchdown pass to Logan Curry from Wes Roberts.
And speaking of momentum, what does Gainesville need to do coming back into the second half to hopefully gain some momentum?
Get the ball to Darius Cannon on the outside, number 1. Get the ball to Naeem Cheeks, very good running back for them. Very elusive, can break tackles, and just kind of slow down. I heard on the sideline, he says, this is about us. When the defensive coach says, we have busted coverages, we got to take care of what we can take care of. So I think that's huge.